Greetings, Taekwondo family. Welcome to Miami Minutes, the show that is here to make you all scram. Hopefully not, actually. Hopefully you stay. You listen. Come on. Don't scram. Don't scram. Stick around. I am one of your hosts, John Parker, Master Scrammer.
And here to run away, run away, run away. It's me, Niall McGowan.
Do you still, to this day, right? I watched that movie first when I was like 6. To this day, I say it like on at least a weekly basis.
Oh yeah, totally. Anytime I ever have to, people have to just get up and go.
Run away,
run away, run away.
If the listeners aren't aware, I bloody hope you are. If you're not aware, we are quoting Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. It's just an immediate, undignified retreat of just like admitting defeat and just like, run away, run away.
I do genuinely think that's one of the finest comedy moments of all time. If only they said it in those words here as a nod back to that classic.
I didn't realize that until recently too, because there's a bit in towards the end when they're going across like the bridge of death, and it just throws in this like little intermission. That's like, a couple of seconds. It's just like it just comes in with this random. Yeah,
it's not even halfway through the movie.
it's like near the end of the movie. Yeah. But I didn't realize like what they actually. I just thought it was the joke was just like, oh, it's an inopportune moment because it's such a tense bit of the film, and then it's just throw in this really stupid janky song as the intermission. I thought that was the joke, but apparently what the intended joke was that like as soon as that popped up, everyone would start getting out of their seats to like go out for the intermission.
Yeah, because you had them then.
Yeah. So people would just be so trained to like, all right, it's intermission time, and then it goes on for just about as long as it would take people to get up and start leaving their seats and like walking out the aisles, and then to just kick back in and go like, oh Christ, and have to sit back down again.
I love that's a very Andy Kaufman level gag.
Yeah, and that'd be probably like because it's like probably Gale's 75, so and like Andy Kaufman's late 70s, early 80s. So it's probably prior to anything he was doing, really. But
I could see him being inspired a little bit by Monty Python. Obviously, different kind of way of delivering the gags, but stuff like that. Like, I mean, there's that famous one that they mention in the movie Man on the Moon. Where he wanted people to think their TVs were broken.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be scrolling, and people are going to get up, and they're going to try and tune it in. And they can't, because that's how it's supposed to be. Hilarious.
We should really do, like, again, for the cross-pollinate before, like, the Bat-Minute feed. Should look into something like that. Because, Jim Carrey did play Andy Kaufman, and they made that documentary about the fact that Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman.
I still haven't watched the documentary, right? Just because I know it's going to make me like the movie less. Because it sounds like Jim Carrey is a bit of a prick in it.
I think I'll still like the movie, okay? You just might like Jim Carrey a lot less.
He's already on a knife edge as it is with the things that happened with his ex.
Yeah. But I think it's more like, I remember at the time people were like, wasn't it amazing that he was so dedicated to his craft? No. So that's like in 99, and then now you got like 24 years later, it's just like, what an asshole. Jesus Christ, dude, what the hell's your problem? Like,
it's very Jared Leto.
Yeah. It is proto Jared Leto.
Yeah. And we don't need that vibe in our life.
No. But I think Jim Carrey is much more. I think Jared Leto is just a privileged dickhead.
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey's a bit more genuinely messed up as a person. Like,
at least he worked for it as well. Jared Leto just seemed to randomly become famous. You're like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. Okay, fine.
I think that was the thing, because I've seen. We're way off topic here, but. Because he got started on My So-Called Life, I think, which is one of those American shows now that was like it was really acclaimed. I only know of it by reputation because
I've heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah, and it'll be too old now to watch it because it's about teenagers and their teenage troubles, and I don't know, like as a 36-year-old man, that might be just like, and then
you can like connect it to your experiences. Like I can watch things now by the youth for the youth, and that's okay, even if I don't fully get it. Like I can connect it to what I went through.
Yeah, but just seeing things like, because it's like him and baby Claire Danes, and I just have such a crush on Claire Danes back in the day when it was era appropriate.
Yeah, I was about to say, actually, I just went, oh, and then it's like, hang on, I shouldn't be saying that with the wording you use.
Yeah, no, she's like, I think she's literally like 15, 16. Or something.
No, that's weird.
And even like I rewatched the other week, like the Romeo and Juliet she's in.
Oh, she looks very young.
Yeah, but when I first saw that, I
Yeah.
myself was a youth, and I was like,
Same.
oh yes, you're so beautiful. And now I'm a bit more like, I don't feel comfortable saying that anymore. Like, although again, the whole thing was like, oh, DiCaprio just looks the same. Like he literally looks like he has not aged a day. And yet, seeing him next to very young Claire Danes, you can imagine him going, "Oh, you're after like the events of the movie. Had they survived, he'd be like, "Oh, you're too old for me now."
Oh, well, it's a tough one, that, isn't it? Because you grew up fancying her, so it's hard to sort of get rid of that from your mind, even though now it's weird.
Yeah,
it's odd.
I think it's excusable if it's a movie you grew up on, but if I was then to go and watch young Claire Danes in a show I had never seen,
that's weird.
And then was going to go, oh yeah, I used to like Claire. You'd be like, no, that's weird. No, you can't do that. So
no,
I think the boat of my so-called life has sailed for me. I think, but I know that's where he came from, Jared Leto, and then like just eventually then kind of wafted into Fight Club, where he gets his whole head caved in at one point, and now people look back at that now with fond memories and stuff.
As much as I hate him, I don't want to cave his head in. Could you just go away from my screen? That would be enough. That'd be enough.
No. I mean, there's people going away from your screen in this minute aplenty, man.
Oh, hell yeah, because the minute starts with cops due to arrive on the scene. And it ends with one cop almost departing the scene. I will explain when we get to the end. There's a teaser. It's a tidbit that I'm going to reveal. Nobody almost died. I'm not going to go that far, but you'll see what I mean when we get there.
As cops discovered Jared Leto was around the corner and went and caved his head in with the butt of the guns that they have already drawn. But
that's what Daniel Bryan's current thing is in the wrestling is. Because he grabs, when people are down on the ground, he grabs both their arms and then just starts stomping on their face. That's his new move. And he's just like, I'm going to kick your fucking head in. Bam, 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 bam. And then the referee has to, like, stop the match.
When last night I was watching, because I'm back home, back in Ireland, for people listening who don't know me personally. And I was watching Pawn Stars with my dad.
Oh, the porn broker.
Yeah. The people don't know Pawn Stars. Basically, it's a very cheesy but very enjoyable show where people bring in their knickknacks, and these guys who run a pawn shop in the Vegas Strip assess whether it's how much it's worth and whether they'll pawn it, whether they'll buy it, whether they'll just go, no, I'm not taking it. And they do like a little history lesson and stuff.
Yeah,
about
I
what
like
the thing
it. I don't watch shows like that often, but if the TV's on, I would pick that over a lot of other things.
It's a very enjoyable show, and you get a lot of genuinely interesting things pop up on it. One of which last night was they brought in a signed mask of Mankind.
Whoa!
And like the younger guy, Chum Lee, who's supposed to be kind of like the dope of the group. He's like an expert in some things, and he was like, he knew all about Mankind. He was like the real authority on him. But then he's just like, I'll try to get the signature verified. I'll get a buddy of mine to come down and check it out. And who was it? But none other than Mick Foley himself showed up.
What? Was that to like verify it?
Yeah. They do that a lot. Like there's always like, oh, I need a buddy of mine to come down, and then usually they bring
guy himself.
They have a range of experts, but sometimes it will be like Stevie Ray Vaughan will show up to like evaluate a guitar and things like that. And Mankind himself. But it was weird because I was sitting with my dad and I just started spouting off all the stuff I know about Mick Foley. But the thing is, I was like, I don't watch wrestling. I just know this all through osmosis from talking to John and talking to Gaz and talking to Jimmy and all these people who were big fans of Mick Foley back in the day. And I was like, it turns out I know a lot more about this guy than even I realized.
That's what friends are for. Now you're a great, pub quiz contender.
I was like, as long as it's about Mick Foley, then sure.
I mean, Mick Foley is the most popular pub quiz question. Of course.
That's what weirded out, though, because he's cut his hair into a very respectable haircut, but the beard's still crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a bit of a kind of weird contrast where it's just like, oh, yeah, very neat and tidy haircut, and then just like, proper crazed mountain man beard. Like, either go one or the other, man. Have the long hair to go with it. Or just go cut and dry. It's just a weird thing to be like.
Trim the beard back a bit, maybe. Yeah. In fact, Jeff, for instance, he balances it well. He's got his hair's not long, but it's not short, so the beard kind of meets in the middle. It's all balanced and proportioned well.
Yeah. Although I was very happy with the surprise guest star of this minute. Jeff had a buddy of his come on down to evaluate. No, just Jeff's armpit hair makes quite an appearance here. You see, it's standing to attention. It's proper, like matted and just sticking out like a blade. Like that's one of his weapons. It's like he sticks up his arm and like slices your eyeball with his with his armpit hair. He's that odd. It's bloody armpit hair as a weapon.
I'm missing out on armpit hair now. I don't have any anymore because shave it for the band.
I mean, you could have it, John. You just have to.
I could technically have it in the band. I don't. It'd be stinky.
Well,
it's a sweaty job being in the band.
That's always the thing too, in all the kind of debates about like women's armpit hair and things like that. And I've had people bring it up to me, in one conversation. I'm just like, I don't want anybody's armpit hair coming at me. Like, we know a guy who frequently wears sleeveless shirts, puts his arm up, and like one of the McFoley fans that we know. And every time I'm mildly disgusted because it's like, dude, put your goddamn your sweaty armpit hair away from me. Like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to know that that's there. Get out of here.
That's another thing. I personally feel more comfortable wearing the stuff I wear in the band and whatnot with them shaved. Because I feel like, I don't know, I never ever felt comfortable getting my arms out before, basically.
Yeah.
I always felt weird. I felt gross. Now it's okay. I don't feel so... Plus, I'm in full costume,
Yeah.
But Jeff, he's like our friend there. He's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of his arsenal, is to blast people with a bit of stink pit. And then, literally cut their eyeballs out with the sharpness of the hair, I guess.
I wonder what deodorant he wears. I get the vibe he's quite an old-fashioned scent kind of dude. Like his cologne will be something quite deep and musky,
Yeah, it's something with a ship in the bottle.
Well, Old Spice is cool now, so maybe he would go Old Spice. Then again, in the 80s, I don't think it was cool. It was always like lame and what old people wore.
I think maybe in the 80s it could probably, when did Old Spice become a thing? Like,
oh God, it's ancient, I think, but it's gone through like waves. So yeah, maybe it was cool. Then let's have a look.
I used to always wear an Old Spice deodorant that you could get, but then they seem to have discontinued it.
I really like that.
Yeah, you can't get it in like deodorant form. It's only in cologne form now. I was like, but I like the spray. Like I used to buy it all the time. But
bloody nice smell, I think. Here you go. It was made in 1937.
Oh, wow. 'Cause my mind has it because it's so synonymous with being in my house in the 80s. My dad wearing it. I assumed, like, it was like an 80s production. And then it kind of went lame for a bit. And now it came back. But I guess it would have been, maybe that's why that whole, something with the ship in the bottle. Yeah. It's a Hannibal Lecter reference. I think he first references that in Red Dragon, which was in the 80s. So even then, I guess it's like, that's outdated, man. Like,
I think from Hannibal's point of view, it's not even being like lame and outdated. I think it's like, well, it's cheap. It's mass market. He probably wears things handcrafted for his own paws.
Oh, totally. Although knowing Hannibal, it's probably things he's made himself as well.
Yeah.
Like I guess that'll be the next level things. Like, yes, he's like, I don't know, he tans a certain part of a person, and then by like the juice from that mixed with like lavender leaves or something is just like, oh no, that's totally my scent now. It's like,
amazing. See, I'm thinking Jeff is going to go one of two ways. Either he's going to be like wearing something like Brute, because a manly that was what kind of took over from Old Spice for a while. I think before that became a bit uncool. Brute.
I think that kind of was almost a joke, though, because that's in Wayne's World, too. It's like, is that Brute? Like, my lady likes me in cologne. I think even at that point, they're kind of making a joke of, like, Brute's like it makes it seem like it's a bit lame and dated.
It's cheap. That's the thing. It's like, it's not really cologne. It's like just what you buy. So I could imagine maybe Jeff would go that kind of thing. Like, just mass market, spray that on, there you go, I'm fine. Or it would be something like very, very super mask, like, with deep smells of like sandalwood and vanilla and leather.
Nah.
Those kind of colognes. Those very like... Ooh.
I don't get that vibe, because Jeff is a man wearing army fatigues all day, every day. Like he's...
Oh, I'm talking when he hits the club, though,
Oh, when he's out last night for wherever he's going with, like, I don't know. Jeff strikes me as the type of man who would be, like, proud of his natural scent. Because he probably retains it in that friggin' bed of hair he's got attached to him. So he probably is kind of going around like, you like that, don't you, honey? Yeah, like
The smell of a real man.
And it's probably back. That's why Yoshido is so into him. He's just like, oh god, this curse I have of my natural scent, I can't mask it. It just breaks through. It's so manly. No cologne can contain it.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe he doesn't even wear deodorant.
No, that's why I fully believe he's just like, no, I just,
Natural.
yeah, he just showers and then he just lets it breathe. And
He goes commando.
Oh, he's totally a commando guy. Yeah.
I've never understood that. I'll be honest. I don't mind, if sometimes it's hot, you might need to sleep like that. Okay. But wearing actual trousers, especially jeans, surely that's just going to garrot your balls.
Yeah, I don't get it at all either. And it's just like, underwear has many purposes. Like,
yeah.
Why would you deny yourself them? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think women have the same problem, to be honest. But men do have this as well. You go to the toilet, and sometimes, unless you're there for a good while, sometimes it's hard to get all of that out. There may be a drip.
No, I think that's one of the prime purposes of underwear is like, yeah, but if there's a little dribble afterwards, it doesn't get on your trouser. Mm-hmm. It gets in. It's soaked in by the underwear, and then as long as it's not like literally got gallons of it gushing out, you're okay for a bit. But
this is one of the reasons I do like the approach, which dare I say you do. I can edit it out if you don't want me to say. Of going to the stalls because you can at least get a bit of tissue and deal with that. But if you go to a pub or a club, there's hardly ever any fucking tissue.
No. It's it's the male curse. We're such an oppressed species.
Oh, I know. Yeah, totally oppressed.
No.
Terrible.
I mean, the thing is, down there though, Jeff might not need underwear though. He's just like, oh no, the bush is thick. It gathers everything.
Oh, I bet he is a man of many a pube. Look at the guy's beard. Look at his armpit hair. Those pubes are going all over the place.
He's one of the two will be just like. Any partners who are like, Jeff, would you mind shaving it back a bit? Like, don't try to chase me, baby.
Oh yeah, he is a man who does not. He doesn't even have a trim.
Yeah.
He's not putting anything back.
That's his whole thing. It's like, it's all pure Jeff. He doesn't need to dress up his scent with some deodorant. No. He doesn't need to disguise himself from you. He's not like, oh, what about antiperspirant? Like, what's wrong with my perspiring? You got a problem with that, asshole? Like,
I could see that. And his breath smells of whiskey. At all times, baby. Whiskey and cigarettes.
But yeah, so Jeff's the one to just go like, he has that thing of like, he's probably building up to him making his own move. But now he's still safely ensconced in the car, so he's able to go to everyone. All right, everyone, back! It's the coppers!
He's like, I was gonna do something really cool. You missed it. Ah, jeez, because those goddamn cops turned up.
Although one of my questions was going to be like, who do we think narked? And like, it could be that Jeff he was out in the club that night. That's why he's still in this kind of torn shirt and stuff. That he's been partying the whole time. It's like, oh Christ, I forgot I had to go down. And that's why he's not fighting. And then he's like, while everyone else is away, he's like underneath getting out his cell phone. 911. Oh help! There's a horrible fight going on down at the train station. You must come straight away.
I love that idea. He just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He wanted to do a show of force, but not actually do the fight.
That's how Jeff's work. We've still not seen him fight. We've only seen him like throw John to the ground that one time. So maybe that's everything about him is all just posturing, an illusion. He's like, oh, if I make it seem like I'm really tough, then who's gonna dispute that? So yeah, I'll totally go down. I'll invite you down. I'm gonna get all my guys and kick the crap out of you, and I'm personally gonna destroy you. Oh, the cops are here. Oh, I would have got you though. Ooh.
Tell you what, from a filmmaking point of view, that's really cool though. I hadn't realized. Yeah, we haven't really seen him fight at all. So from a structural perspective of the movie, that's great that they are saving him. It genuinely is building up to the big reveal of his skills.
Yeah, he's gonna do the full on. I keep wanting to do Dragon Ball Z references because I kind of think he's going to do like a big anime reveal. Is basically what I'm going to do. He's going to start floating up in the air and calling down electricity from the sky and everything.
Building his power level.
Yeah, his hair will stand up, his beard will stand up, his armpit hair will stand up. It'll be the whole thing.
Can any listeners please draw Jeff going Super Saiyan? I need to see it. I need it in my life. His beard can be like jutting out and everything.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
But,
in fact, the game we keep talking about, they could all have a different ability, like a different elemental ability assigned to them. I'm trying to think what Jeff could be. Maybe he's got earth powers. He's quite earthy.
Or he just smell. Like it's all scent based.
So is that air power then?
Though check out then, like, who would be like, you also want to give it like electricity to Angelo, because he's playing. He could harness it through the guitar and shoot it out at people that way. That'll be his power.
That'd be cool. Or the keys could, what's his face on the keys, because that's electric.
Yeah, Jim, they could do it too. Although I think the like shooting electricity out of a guitar kind of is easier to make. Shooting them out of a keyboard sounds like, oh no, I guess you can. You can do it like big blast waves and stuff too. But just like
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But I guess, I don't know. Mark strikes me as like a water type.
I 100% think water, and that's because most, not to lump all countries there together, but most Asian dragons are water animals. They're not like Western ones that are fire.
Yeah.
They are water based, and they live in the water, around the water, things like that. So I think because he's a dragon, water.
Yeah. And because what other elements you have, like fire?
Yeah.
Jeff could be fire. He's got the fury.
He's definitely. I couldn't decide between earth or fire. They were my two. But what's Yoshito? Because he's gonna have to be one of the other.
Oh no, Yoshito has to be fire because he did that flaming.
Oh yeah, there you go.
The brick thing. Yeah. So
when he's punching you in the game, he's got flaming fists.
You catch on fire and split in two as he hits you.
Yeah.
Oh, but this edit though. And I guess maybe it was just the best take they got. But it's the fact that you hear these sirens, and then you see this Jeep approaching, and you're like, is it undercover cops or something? Is it, no, the police are behind this guy, whoever he is?
I don't know. That when I was writing my notes, I was like, why are the police in a van? And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
So either it's one of these things where, like, we only had enough footage to do the one take, and this guy randomly showed up, or, again, much like the beach sequence, these are actual cops showing up to shut down the shooting of the scene. And they're like, get the hell out of here.
Well, a teaser for my bit at the end. These are actual cops.
Oh, not surprised. I'm surprised the rest of the scene isn't just the camera booting it away as well.
But, did you notice as well, like, Jeff... Well, actually, no, let's talk about this Jeep one more time. I do really like how polite, whether it's in the script or not, how polite the driver is, just, pulling over for the police cars to pass. Because I assumed they were with Jeff and were going to, try and swerve into the cops or burst their tires or something, but nope.
Oh no, they don't have the budget for that. My mind was like, this is finally Jim and Angelo showing up late to the fight.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, shit.
Come on, we're going to go get him. Just like, oh, shit. Just like zipping around.
They didn't set their alarms that day. Oh, shit, we woke up really late. Get down there.
Or they couldn't settle who got into the shower first. It's like,
I suppose, there's a lot of showering to do.
Yeah, that's it. Well, no, that probably is why everyone didn't show up. It's like, oh, come on, guys, like, we can't all fit in the shower at the same time, so we're gonna have to do this in shifts. So, like, Mark, John, and Joe Jack. They think, oh, we can all fit in, and like, but Angelo and Jim, like, they've got a lot more. They got curlier hair, so it's like there's a lot more care involved in that. Angelo's got he's got that mullet to clean. They both got both got mustaches to deal with as well. I mean, come on.
Plus, maybe they've both got like a long skin routine. They've got lots of balms to apply and ointments.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's I can imagine too. Like, they'll be both shampoo experts. And maybe like only Jim knows what Angelo likes in his mustache shampoo. And it's like, no, I gotta carefully caress it. They've probably got the whole routine going on there. Yeah. So
they're on their way. Hold the guys off for a little bit. We'll be there.
Unless this was like their ace in the hole. This was like, oh, if the fight's getting too intense, we'll just come along with a Jeep and run a bunch of guys over.
Hey, it's a good tactic.
Yeah, that's right. It could have worked if it wasn't for those pesky cops.
Yeah, but they're very polite, pulling over. Yep. And Jeff calling for the retreat. Did you notice as well, like, he seems to call for it before we see or hear the police. So it's a bit weird. Like, shouldn't we catch a glimpse of the police first, then he calls for the retreat, just for the way a film's structured?
That's because he was the one who called the cops. That's the whole thing.
Well, that's another thing, actually. In the world of the movie, assuming he didn't call them, how did he see them? So he must have called them. Maybe
his ninja senses. Maybe because he's hungover and he's just really sensitive to sound. And he's just like, the sirens in the distance. He's like, oh, wait. Oh, Christ. Get out of here. Run away. Run away.
Run away. It's got to be that. It's one of those two things. Because he doesn't see them. He just calls for it before they're anywhere in his eye line. Unless he's got a call, but people didn't really have mobiles. And he hasn't got a walkie-talkie on him.
No. That's not the police are going to call him. By the way, we're coming to break up your fight. Could you guys please? But I do really appreciate too that like it's in the lived-in world of Miami Connection. Everybody's just like, oh, the cops, fuck these guys, let's get out of here. Like, for all intents and purposes, Mark and Dragon Sound should be like, oh, the cops are here. Good. We can finally go, like, these guys have been harassing us. You got to take care of this. But even they have the understanding, like, oh, no, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. No, I don't think it would be good because the police, I mean, I've experienced them myself. If they're breaking up a fight, unless they've seen it happen, you're all getting arrested. And they'll sort it out later.
Yeah.
Like, who's at fault? We need explanation. So you're going to end up in a cell. Unless you get out of there. It's going to waste your entire day.
I suppose really Mark and crew can't really call self-defense either because it's like you could have just not gone to the fight. Like you were called down to the railroad tracks for a fight and you showed up ready to brawl. Like, we all see your leather fingerless gloves. Those are fighting gloves. Come on.
Yeah, true. He's dressed for a battle.
Yeah. Well, I do, because I'm a little disappointed at them, because, like, it's only 2 cop cars. You guys can take these guys. Come on. Like, I guess they do come out with, like, guns blazing. Like, not literally blazing, but they've got them drawn. They are ready to go, like, it would be the type of thing where Mark would just go, oh, officer, put up his hand, and they'd probably shoot him. So it's like...
Especially in America. Oh!
Yeah, that's the thing, too. Like, is that guy, is he white? Nope. Bang. There you go. Done.
Yeah. I mean, we're joking, but that is an issue.
Yeah, totally. The only person who might survive this intact would be John. Because he's just like, well, he's generic-looking white guy. Like, I think he must be okay. He doesn't look like he can kick ass. But thankfully, they didn't see the last minute where we find out that John actually legitimately can kick ass. So.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the best in the movie. One of the best of the crew.
Although I wonder then if, Kid Rock would get up and start mouthing off as well. Like,
oh, he'd be the first arrested. Yeah.
Oh, I think, though, he would be more like, oh, no, these are the guys, officers, you gotta go get them, and stuff. He would get arrested as well. But he would be making sure that, like, these dragons have been picking on us for
But I also think they would arrest him first just because he won't shut up about it. It's like, get in the fucking car.
Although I do wonder if, like, if they do a clear up of anyone, because Kid Rock was, like, knocked unconscious, I want to say. Like, I don't think we see him flee. I think he's probably lying with his, his dick in the dirt somewhere. So,
yeah,
he might well, like, he might well have a jacket after this. We got, he's got.
I like that.
Although I'm assuming all of them already have a record and stuff.
Oh, I would assume that's how they've ended up in the gang. Although Dragon Sound are squeaky clean. Or are they? I mean, we don't know their past, really.
This could have been an interesting scene. You find out that would have added a bit more to it, actually, if the Dragon Sound got arrested, and then they told you that, like, John or Joe Jack had a seedy past or whatever.
Mark once killed a guy.
Yeah, that kind of thing too. I think that, like, Mark benefits from being kept, like, mysterious about, like, why does he come over from Korea and stuff like that. Whereas you can throw in, like, one of these guys, like, that'll be a big revelation, like, oh yeah, I killed my parents. That's why I'm an orphan.
But I had no choice. You don't understand.
Or he's just like, he's just remorseless, just like, no. It's like, oh, I didn't realize there was qualifiers to being an Orpan. I thought you could just be one. Like, I wanted to join Dragon Sound so much that I killed my parents.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
That's the dark twist. It's just like, you like, you like that person? I'll kill their parents. They can join the band as well.
I like the way you made it super dark. I was thinking it more like, oh yeah, Mark got in a fight back in the day, accidentally killed some other kid when he was like 15. He's like, I am no longer about that life. I will never kill again.
Yeah, Bobby killed a guy. I said, like, that's such a deep cut Twin Peaks reference.
Yeah.
But it is just the one thing of just like, remember when Bobby killed that guy? And then just like the show just forgot about it. It was like, who cares? Like,
it doesn't come up again until the movie.
Yeah, they bring it up in the movie again to make, so just re-emphasize that Bobby killed a guy. It's like, but you weren't ever going to do anything with that. Like, he becomes a cop later, for Christ's sake. He really, really got away with it.
Well, he killed a bad guy. Who cares? That guy was doing, like, he was dealing drugs and stuff. I know Bobby was as well, but still.
There's the other link of who attacked Dr. Jacoby in the season 1 finale. It's like, I don't know. Some guy,
Let's
I guess.
say it was Mo.
But yeah. So I kind of wish, though, this was like that everyone had left their keys in their car, and it just turned out to be like a kind of swingers party, like bowl scenario where like Dragon Sounds and Jeff's car, and friggin' someone's driving like a bicycle that like Vader brought or something. Like, what the hell is that? Must have been. They all have to awkwardly meet up then to like exchange things back again.
Vader accidentally ends up in Dragon Sound's car, and he has to go home with them. It's like a whole thing.
So I always liked that, though. That was a big thing in like 80s cartoons, where for some reason, like, the bad guy, like a henchman or something, would end up either to be captured by the good guys or he'd end up hanging out with them for some reason, and they'd always end up eventually becoming a bit friendly. I always appreciate it as a plot point, because I always had that kind of thing. Like, look, everyone can get along. We don't have to be all assholes,
I especially love it then by the end of the episode, the bad guy's just back to normal, though.
Yeah. And there'll be a thing where there's a big thing of going like, we'll look conflicted for a second, and then we'll have to like pledge allegiance to like the big bad guy, and be like, oh wait, no. But no, I think it was the big ones I can really remember for that would be. Oh, I guess they were their own bad guys, just upon themselves. Was what they called Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers? Was it Bulk?
Yeah.
Is that what they called them, Bulk and Skull, or was it something?
The two punks.
Yeah, the two random like 45-year-old men who were hanging around the school pretending to be students, and who were always just harassing the Power Rangers. And they always hated them, and then there'd be always some reason where they'd have to hang out with them, and then they'd get on okay-ish. Yeah. And then afterwards, they go straight back to being assholes again. And I was just like, what is that? Why don't you just be nicer to the people? Come on.
It's the 80s. Punks are evil. Well, it's not even the 80s. It's the 90s. So, no.
Yes.
By the 90s, the whole punk, cheesy, evil thing's gone. So,
Although it was, thing I'm still... I put it up on Facebook the other day, and I'm still reeling from it. Where I was watching Priscilla, Queen of the Desert the other day.
Yay.
And there's a guy... They stop with a guy at one point, and you meet his wife. She barely speaks English.
Love that.
And she's really flamboyant, and she's just like, her whole big thing is that she can shoot ping pong balls out of her vagina.
I forgot,
But yeah, as I was watching it, I was just like, this woman looks really familiar to me. Looked it up, and it was freaking Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers. I was like, that's what she's from?
I don't remember Rita Repulsa attacking like that.
I mean, maybe she would have won if she did.
It would certainly be distracting.
Yeah, gets in her own Zord. She's like, all right, now the time has come for Rita Repulsa.
Oh my god. What would her Zord be then? Pussycat?
I guess so. I thought I just had that, because she has such a cool look anyway. I just wanted to be a big Zord of her, I'd have to at least have the same hairdo and the weird collar she had and stuff, but like...
I always loved her. She's so camp.
Oh, she's great. She's a great villain. There's kind of a reason why, like, as much as I loved Lord Zed, like, when they brought Power Rangers back, who was the bad guy they went with? It was going to be Rita Repulsa, because that's the iconic one,
Zed was great, though. Like, obviously not quite as good as her, but if you're going to get rid of her and bring a new villain in, I think they hit another home run. I remember that look on him, Jesus.
Oh, he's great design for a villain. But I remember getting up early because like they used to show Power Rangers on like CITV at 6 a.m. or something. And them having a whole big thing about like this coming Tuesday at 6 a.m. the new villain in Power Rangers, Lord Zed, and it was just so exciting. It's just like holy moly! Yeah. I think it's like they're trying to torture kids though, by being like, we won't put it on Saturday at a reasonable time. You gotta get up on a weekday extra early before school to see this guy.
I always watched it before school. I don't even know if they ever put it on after school, which is insane.
I don't think they ever. I remember Irish TV would have it on at weekends, but I don't think CITV ever did. I think they were just like, nope, it's a preschool thing, or maybe if you were off sick, they would also show it at like 9:30, and it's like,
yeah, for some reason the repeats were like 2 hours later. It's like what? Repeat it later in the day.
Although it's weird though that I'm like, because we do a show about Batman and stuff. Where it's just like, oh, you can take this character very seriously. You can do serious stuff with Batman, but they keep trying to like make Power Rangers like credible.
No.
And every time I'm like, nah, it's not that, man. It's too silly. Like it's everything about it. Like even that recent movie they did, which was pretty decent as I recall, it just still has a kind of like, I remember in the trailer they cut together like epic bits of a guy going go. It's like you're trying to invoke Go Power Rangers, and that's just a silly song. And doing it this way is silly. It's all silly. Like you can't take this seriously. Lighten up the friggin' put some lights on this thing. It's all so dark the way you've lit it. What the hell are you doing?
I want it to be bright and cheesy and silly, full of really bad gags, things like that. Like I don't know, who could do it? Like a Lord and Miller, maybe. But obviously gear it. Don't put any risque jokes in there. It's the Power Rangers. And that's another thing about the new one. Didn't it have loads of dirty jokes?
Yeah. And had in obscene levels of product placement. I remember them.
That's okay, though, because, the whole thing was made to sell toys.
Yeah, but I just remember at the end them coming to, like, confront Rita Repulsa. Was Elizabeth Banks, I think, was played her in that one? But, and she was sitting inside a giant Krispy Kreme. Like... atop in the donut atop a Krispy Kreme shop. So there was no way around. Like, yes, Krispy Kreme, it's right here, people.
Amazing.
Yeah, and not in the kind of like, so I just noticed because rewatched Fight Club the other week, and just like, yeah, Krispy Kreme really got their claws in the Fight Club as well. But I think in that everything is like, I think David Fincher went out of his way to like, oh, there's a Starbucks in every shot.
Yeah, but that's very deliberate in that movie, isn't it? That's part of what it's doing. Yeah.
It's part of the whole Josie and the Pussycats thing of like, there's a McDonald's in your shower, like all that kind of stuff. Like the obscene level, like, yeah, we're taking the piss. Whereas with Power Rangers, I'm pretty sure they're like, Krispy Kreme want to sponsor us? Fine, yeah, we'll smear it all over the goddamn place. Yes.
Right, Mark and John, they both leap into the Friendmobile, as I'm going to call it. Both of them.
Okay, yeah. Make a note for the novelization. It's called the Friendmobile. We'll have to have an origin scene for it, of course. But
Or what do you reckon, actually, Friendmobile or Friendsmobile? Because America has the Oldsmobile.
Oh, no, it has to be Friends because it goes with the song, Friends. Yeah. Friends. So no, it's perfect.
So Friendsmobile, it is. Yeah, because it's referencing the song and the Oldsmobile. So there you go, the Friendsmobile. They jump into it though. No doors used, both of them. So take 2 drinks or one big one.
Yeah. This one, too, I have to say, completely justified. Because you can't run away from the cops and open a door.
No,
no. It has to be you jump in. Like, that's just the law. Like, the cops will come after you even harder if they saw you using the door. Because, like, that's not the way you're supposed to flee, assholes.
No, yeah, I'm totally with them. You're in a rush. You've got the option. You're going to use that option, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I imagine they're not putting the seatbelt on. Like,
no.
Go. And Jeff finally rallies the boys to get out of there. He gets them all together. Seems a bit late. The police are going to catch those number plates. But they do, unite and begin their escape.
Yeah.
Then again, they've probably got fake plates, haven't they?
I don't know. These, I don't know if Jeff's well, actually, maybe some of the drug muling guys would have fake plates.
That's what I was thinking, because initially I was like, well, a gang probably wouldn't. But I was like, yeah, but he's a drug dealer, so... But then he's a it's kind of hard to determine his level. I would say he's a low-level dealer because, they work on the streets. But at the same time, they've got this ninja gang with them. So I
kind of get the vibe like Jeff himself would have fake plates. and then he wouldn't. Like, the rest of the gang are like interchangeable to him.
Let them take the rap.
It will be one day. He's just like, where's Vader? Damn it! And they're like, oh, Vader got arrested 5 months ago. Like, what? Oh, who's taking his place? And it's like, oh god, this other guy, Raider. Like, oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, fine.
Get me his non-union Mexican equivalent.
Yeah. It's just like, where's the Anna Bagitska lookalike? Like, no, she got arrested. We've got actual Anna Bagitskas here now. Like, oh, fine.
That'll do. I don't have to learn a new face. It's okay.
But no, that's the cops make the mistake here of stopping, because it should be like, well, like, they're all, you can see them getting in the cars and going.
Yeah.
Go at, like, there's two cars. Why are you both stopping? At least one of you should go after them.
Maybe they just don't want a car chase. They're like, we can tell the head office, but we tried, they all got away. Then again, these days they've all got body cams on, so you couldn't lie.
Yeah. Oh, the glory days of the 80s, they could do, well, that's where they got the guns out already. Like, oh, we are gonna shoot the shit out of these guys.
That's the thing. And I know bad things still happen, but at least the body cams are rolling most of the time. And if they've turned them off, that's even more suspicious. Why have you turned it off?
I don't know why I've seen that, brought up in court cases and stuff. Like, well, why did you turn your body cam off? I was like, yeah, that's literally the most incriminating thing, is to turn the damn thing off.
Well, that's why I saw some people say, well, why are they allowed to turn it off? And I think the option is there to incriminate them. Like, if you've chosen to turn that off, this is extra fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you're planning to do something bad.
But then, the American legal system could just be like, well, he could just make up an excuse for why he turned it off, and then it will always be like, there's that little crumb of doubt. So it's just like, we don't know, the body camera's off. It's like, there's always the chance something not illegal happens. So
it's true.
Just get clean away with it. But
well, they get away with it here. These cops ain't going to be catching them anytime soon. Is
it just me? I'm just looking here. I've noticed that this one of these cops has done a very weird little touch where
as he gets out the car.
No, it's his attire. Because it looks like he's wearing his sunglasses. He's got them hanging off the lapel on his shoulder, rather than people would put them on, like, you get out, you put them on the little, on your chest or something, or you just wear them like sunglasses.
So he's got them through like the loop bit.
I think it's got like the little what do you call them? Look at you, the lapels on your shoulder, I guess. I think I keep calling them lapel. That might not be the correct term, but
I think in the military, isn't it an epaulette?
Epaulette. Yeah. So,
but I don't know if this is the same. It might be, that might just be a military thing.
But no, he definitely does. It's got now. You look at like exactly at 1 minute, just the freeze frame. Yeah, he's just got his sunglasses dangling. It's like, is that the only practical use for those in American cops? Is like, just put your sunglasses there. There's a donut holder, right?
You're right, though. It is. When you said, I thought, it's going to be something to do with his radio. Also, it's no, it's the glasses.
Yeah.
Interesting. And the guy on the right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. I believe in this color scheme, he is a sheriff instead of a policeman, which is different. But I don't know what the difference is. We just have a police officer.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even call them that. We're police constable. We do not have sheriffs and all these different. They're different. They don't work together necessarily. So this seems to be a policeman and a sheriff.
I seem to get the vibe that like a sheriff's like a if it's a small town, you get a sheriff, and then if it's a city, that's normal beat cops and stuff. But like, so no, in Copland, the Stallone movie with the James Mangold film, he's in a little town just outside New York. Yeah. And New York's obviously New York. They'll have New York cops, like the way, but then it's literally over the water, like a little tiny skip and a jump away. But he's a sheriff. And then he's hanging out with, like, he hangs out in the sheriff's station. He's got Janine Garofalo with him. She's in the same outfit. She is also a sheriff. She has the big wide-brimmed hat, all that stuff.
In this kind of beigey, brownie kind of color.
Yeah, that thing, and then a big wide-brimmed hat. And I was like, I think they always refer to them as, like, sheriff. Like, every cop is there referred to as sheriff. So it might be just like, I'm sure we have American listeners. By all means, please do leave comments to explain.
Yeah, I mean, we could Google it, but that's not as fun.
No, we're trying to make people interact with us. Introduce up more playful elements to the show. So we're so damn serious all the time.
We're very serious. Well, what got me onto this topic of the sheriff was he has an interesting hat. It's very. I don't know if it's just the way he's wearing it. It's like a cap, but it's very rigid. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very tall.
It is. I have to say, like, you'll get to it, obviously, because you're saying in the commentary there's notes on these guys being actual cops. Mm-hmm. But the guy on the right particular really has a vibe of hot cops to me. Like,
well, this is the thing. I'm interpreting what they say as them being actual cops, but I don't. They don't explicitly say it, but the way they start talking about them, it sounds like they are.
Yeah, but no, that guy, the guy on the right, particularly to me, has a kind of, I don't know. He's very built. He's very tall. And his clothes seem very tight.
Oh,
like, yeah. they're very like. There's a little tapering going on at the bottom.
Oh, those are the trousers are flared.
Yeah, this really has the vibe of like, no, this is a stripper. Like this
Maybe
guy,
he told them he was a cop.
It's like we can only get one cop we know will show up, and then the other guy, he couldn't get us a matching uniform, so we had to go down to the costume rental place, or we just had to contact a stripper. It's like, do you have a cop outfit? I've got a sheriff's outfit. There you go, totally fine. I guess, do you even have sheriffs in Orlando? Would Orlando not be a city? Like, if that's the difference?
Yeah, fucking Jesus. He looks good in the outfit. Like, I wouldn't look that good in it.
Maybe there's like maybe it's two different, like because they're both in different cop cars. Maybe one's coming from like the train tracks are on the border between like Orlando,
and that's why they've stopped. They need to argue over who's making the arrest.
Get out of here! This is my case. Not anymore. It's not.
Oh my God! I'm gonna call the DA.
Or you could say like, through some sort of nebulous time warping or something. Copland is also it also borders Orlando somehow. Maybe. And this guy in the sheriff's outfit, this is young Sylvester Stallone, and this is like the events of Miami Connection, or how he loses his hearing in his ear.
Oh, there you go. It's a prequel.
Yeah, totally. Then we have to write the Copland novelization afterwards to like expand on his relationship with Mark, and you find out like, oh no, he made it up to him.
You know what? I'll mention it here then. I know I normally save the commentary for the end, but it's specifically about this bit, you see. So when they get out the car, they're talking about them. And again, the way they talk about them, it sounds like they're real policemen. And they were very excited to be in the movie.
Oh.
And they point out how the guy on the left, he practices poor gun discipline that goes completely against what you're trained to do. This is why I thought they were real police, because he says, you're trained not to do this. But he does it. If you notice, when he gets out the car and he walks over to the other guy, he just points his gun at him. He just straight up points the gun right at the other guy. It's like, no, you're trained never, ever point your gun at another policeman. It could go off. You're not even supposed to point it at your own, foot.
You tell me some sort of cop could be actively incompetent and unfit to be practicing on the force? Get out of here.
Yeah, he just straight up pointed at him. And the guy interviewing them on the commentary just dies laughing there, because it's them who point it out. And he's like,
unless he wants to, maybe because you are so rigidly supposed to be doing these things. He's like, nah, I'm in a movie. I'm gonna let loose. He's so the next minute he's gonna start doing that like holding the gun sideways thing. That
you've got to.
Hey, Chief, can I hold my my gun sideways like they do in the movies? Work away, birthday boy.
I reckon they're allowed to do that on the birthday, in the birthday. But yeah, it's the way he says, like, you train not to do that. But he's so excited, he's done it. I'm like, so he's a real policeman then. Because they're indicating that the excitement is why he forgot. And he must have pointed it out afterwards or something, been like, sorry about that.
Oh, he only shot a camera guy. It's okay.
It's okay. I imagine they're not real guns, even if they're real police. But who knows? It's America.
Oh, I'm 100%. I believe that these are their guns. Those are their cars. They probably didn't get them signed out. Okay, they're just like, just swing by with the cars. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Don't get it approved with the boss.
Yeah, you get in with permission? No. They're not going to watch the movie. It'll be fine.
No one's going to watch.
One of them's gone in this. That's why he's gone to be extra cautious. He went and rented himself a sheriff's outfit. And so he's like, no, my boss will never know. He'd think of some asshole sheriff from way down the street or whatever.
Or some stripper.
Yeah, he'll never realize it's me. I was like, but I can see it's car 1H2. Like, coincidence. Although it does say sheriff on it as well, actually, right enough. So
It does.
yeah, look into. Yeah, I mean, if these guys are in next minute, we'll have to, in the interim, do some research into Orlando's policy on sheriffs versus beat cops or whatever you'd call them.
If we remember, people, we will do that because I think they are briefly in the next minute.
I mean, like I am noted out for this man because it is literally just like run away, like it's just guys dispersing, and cops disappointingly and probably for budgetary reasons going, well, we're not going to chase them. So,
well, I only have one other thing really. I need to ask: did we ever look up the company specifically that's written on the tanker in the background?
I think I remember I did look into them. The ADM corn sweeteners. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I know that I did investigate, like, what's their deal. But I mean, have you found something interesting? Then, like,
well, I found a couple of things, and I don't recall you mentioning these, but you can stop me if you did, and I'll just edit it out. So yeah, as you say, ADM, Archer Daniels Midland. I found a story about them from 2004 in Confectionery News. So I've taken it you didn't find it then. Here we go. Ingredient supplier ADM said on Thursday that it had reached a $400 million settlement in an antitrust case.
Wait, no, I think we did talk about.
Did we talk about this
one?
Because then I've got another bit then. So I did go to the ADM website. Did you go on their website?
No, I don't think so.
I liked the way they talked as if they're like a lovely company, super nice. We make amazing products that like help the planet and all this. And it's like, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. But the way they word it on their website says, we are a global leader in human and animal nutrition and the world's premier agricultural organization and processing company. Our breadth, depth, insights, facilities, and logistical expertise give us unparalleled capabilities to meet needs for food, beverages, health, and wellness, and more. From the seed of the idea to the outcome of the solution, we enrich the quality of life the world over. Do you? You're making like corn syrup.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty terrible for you, isn't it?
I guess that's why you have a PR team, though. It's just like, we have to make up some convoluted bullplop. And then people will be like, oh, it sounds like they're pretty nice. I can still eat their stuff and accept that it's good for me or whatever.
I think that's
not
what
realizing it's slowly killing you the whole time.
With all these wonderful sugary products that they've created. Yeah, great. I mean, they might have a couple of. I reckon they'll have a couple of things in like a health range that justifies this. Well, we do have healthy products. We never said we exclusively did that.
That's the whole thing when McDonald's tried to like emphasize that it sold salads.
Yeah, no one's going to Mackey's for a salad.
Yeah.
If I want a salad, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, you want a salad. You can make your own salads. They'll be way nicer, way cheaper, and like it'll save you having to leave the house.
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's for the crap that they sell. Like that's. Yeah. You know, I say that 'cause I don't have McDonald's a lot. I have one a couple a year maybe, but when I go there, I know what I want.
Yeah, you're going there for that purpose.
Yeah. We used to live across the street from one at one period, and I frustratingly like our friend Steve.
Yes.
Like I would go. And it was just like afterwards, it's like, oh my God, I'm putting on weight from all these McDonald's visits, man. Steve, always thin as a rake. Just never put on any weight.
Used to be me back in the day. Ugh.
Yeah, he just has an insane metabolism. Like how the guy he eats nothing but garbage, and yet he's always thin. Like it's crazy. I'm
jealous. Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Again, it used to be me as a teenager. My lunch when I was at college would regularly just be a tub of Ben and Jerry's. I just every day, 5 days a week, I just eat a Ben and Jerry's tub. There you go. Or 3 Magnum ice creams.
Oh, wow. I don't think now that I think nowadays that would both give me an insane sugar headache, and also just wouldn't fill me because it's just like, well, ice cream's not really substantial. Like it doesn't feel.
I was like 17 and a 28-inch waist, you know.
Yeah. Oh, but
the only other thing I had there about ADM, they are worth $64 billion. So there's a lot of money in sugar syrups and corn syrups and things like that. So that settlement you mentioned, $400 million, not really that much to them.
No. Those big corporations. It takes a lot to take them down. Like,
well, that's why legal settlements and fines and all this, it doesn't make a difference. They don't care.
No. This is all just like, again, it is all PR stuff. It's just like, if we can settle it, then that's just totally fine. But like, if it's a thing where it's going to damage our reputation, that's a problem. But if it's just a thing, it's like, oh, I'll be in the papers once, and who cares? But I think that's now the in the era of cancellations and whatnot. I think cancellations work more effectively with individual people than they do with companies. Because I know, was it Chick-fil-A had a whole big thing in America recently?
People I only just found out how you pronounce that. Because I was thinking, why have they got a place called Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Which actually, to be fair, is a better name to me. Like Chick-fil-A.
It sounds dirty. But like here, the cut of meat is fillet. And I only just found out Americans call it filet, and that's trying to spell filet in a way they can copyright. I'm like, oh, because we don't have that over here.
Yeah. But I know that I'm only kind of half remembering, but I know that Chick-fil-A has had a big PR scandal where people were actively trying to shut the company down and stuff.
Yeah, because they're really anti like LGBT,
Yeah. So I'm not too sure of the exact details, but it was something along those lines.
Oh yeah, it was aggressively anti. Yeah.
And
so no queer people I know in America will go there still.
Yeah, but
the rest of the public
they'll weather that storm. There will just be people going like, you know what, I don't care. Yeah. There probably will. I'm sure maybe not any queer people that you know, but there probably are some people out there who were just hooked on the chicken. Who were just like,
there will be some. Absolutely, there will be. But I think they were just counting on A, the bigots, and B, people who aren't affected by it forgetting and not caring anymore. And that seems to be what's happened. Yeah.
Oh, totally. I gotta do this over here. How much crap people give Jeff Bezos shit relentlessly, and yet everyone still uses Amazon for everything. So,
well, I always bring this up actually about Amazon because I feel terrible using them because I'm a political kind of person. But I buy almost everything off them, and I feel terrible.
Yeah,
but they are so clever in that they've made themselves basically indispensable. They've wormed their way into your life so much. I wouldn't even know where to buy half of the things anymore.
Yeah,
and it's cheap and it's quick. It literally, some stuff comes same day.
Yeah. We got to a point that you can buy your groceries through Amazon now.
And I've done that once as well.
Yeah. During the pandemic, I knew anyone that ever had to quarantine was just always like, all right, we're gonna messaging upstairs, just going like, oh, we're getting in the Amazon shop now. Do you need anything? It's like it'll be here within the hour. So
the clever bastards. That's how they could afford to undercut people and stuff as well. It's like, well, they worked out the best way, like selling, maybe not at a loss, but at a very minor margin. It gets people into the ecosystem then, and then once you're in, you're in.
Yeah. That still is always the thing, too, if they go out to, not even, little, what they call, mom and pop stores, but, even if I go to Waterstones, which is, a book chain, to buy a book, you'll go in, it's like, yeah, it's £17 here. Yeah. And then you go to Amazon, it's like a tenner. It's like, well, I know which one I'm going to buy. I'm sorry, Waterstones. I wish I had infinite cash to just be like, I don't mind wasting £7 that I could save elsewhere. But
that's the thing. If I had a lot of money, I would gladly go to only small stores because I don't begrudge them for charging more. Absolutely not, because that is the fair price that they're charging.
Yeah,
but A, I haven't got the money, and B, Amazon's coming in with a cheaper. It's like,
and they'll bring it to your door. You don't even have to go to them.
And they'll bring it to your door really quick. So.
Before this turns into just a mass advertisement for Amazon.
Amazon sponsors this. No.
Although if they are offering sponsorships, by all means.
Oh, God. Yes, I am noted out. Should we break the connection?
Yes.
We shall indeed. Then.
Let's run away.
Run away. While we're running, make sure to come and speak to us on Facebook at the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. Speak to us on Twitter at Miami Minutes, Instagram Miami Minutes, and go on the Patreon and TeePublic. Oh God, yes, run!
Listen to me.